Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Raider roster report. This is Raider Sparks coming at you with another episode. We'll talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. A lot of moves by the Raiders, bringing in some free agents. Yesterday's video, we definitely talked about the need to start adding depth on the roster and add a couple key positions. One being the tackle position, which we did. We brought in two. The linebacker position, we brought in two there, and we also talked about the tight end position. We did bring a tight end into the room. So let's talk about the guys that were brought in, and then we'll go a little bit deeper into it. But please like, share, subscribe. Want to know what you guys are thinking out there. Have we done enough? The answer to that I think is no. We still have a lot more to go. A lot of the contracts aren't out yet, but just by going off some of the things that we do know and some of the common knowledge, and then based on some of the players we signed, so kind of what they were. Had made in the past, that type of thing. I believe we're right around 8 million in cap space once everything gets entered for the top 51. Obviously, we still have Littleton and Nassib on the books, and so we haven't gotten that cost savings yet. About 14-15 million dollars that'll come after June 1st. But as of now, I think we have probably right around 8 million to go. Don't know if we're going to get relief dead money with Ruggs and Arnett. It's not looking like we are, so we might just have to eat that money, which kind of sucks. But yeah, right now I believe that's kind of where we're at. It could be obviously a bit off. Maybe there may be around 10 million. I know Sport Track has us about 17 million, but again, all the contracts aren't entered yet, so we still have a little ways to go. I just tried to kind of project what some of these other contracts are gonna look like and that type of thing. Sorry about that. My dog's barking here. Raleigh, no. All right, so let's get into some of the new guys. Obviously, we all know this gentleman. He's back, Brandon Parker. And I'm actually kind of excited about this. I was hoping we did something different at the tackle position, but I mean, with the new blocking scheme, it may help him out. I don't know who's going to have the inside track, him or Illuminor, to get the starting spot. And who knows? We may not be done yet. You never know. But we definitely brought Parker back for a reason. It's just all going to be the contract details, and definitely waiting to see what sort of contract details come out, especially as guaranteed money, which I doubt he probably will have any guaranteed money. It'll probably be all salary, that type of thing. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. But then Jermaine Illuminor as well. He may have the inside track just because he's played before in the system. So you never know. That could always help. We talked a lot about in these videos about getting people familiar with the systems, and I'll go over the positions each group and see kind of how that's looking and see if that shook out the same way. But I thought Jermaine played well for us last year. The little spot start he did, he started at right tackle for the Patriots, so he knows the system and what's expected and all that good stuff. So I kind of think he may have the inside track. He was the first one to come out too, as soon as all the hiring started with all the Patriots and kind of giving them props on social media and that kind of thing. So he's definitely down for it. So I definitely look for him to definitely compete for that spot. And I kind of assume both of these guys will make the team. One is a swing tackle, one is the starting tackle. But we have a long way to go. Anything can happen here in free agency and also the draft, that type of thing. But then Jacob Hollister. Part of me, it's a good signing. I think it's a solid signing for the Raiders, kind of a number 3 tight end. I think the Raiders might, definitely will keep 3 tight ends, might keep 4 tight ends. Obviously, we have Bauer as well, but Hollister is kind of basically the role of Carrier. I mean, what Carrier did for us the last couple of years, blocking tight end, strong in special teams, and can give you some offense as well. That's pretty much what he is. Obviously, he played there with Seattle, but has ties to the Patriots as well. So in the tight end room, we definitely have a expatriate here, so knows the system as well. And it's kind of a theme in all the position groups almost. I mean, more than half the position groups have somebody that knows the system, so that's kind of where they went with this whole thing. And then so it kind of sucks. I don't think we'll bring back Carrier, but we got Hollister, was probably a younger version of that, and so it's kind of that's not a bad signing. I think there's a lot of depth at tight end. I still don't rule out us drafting a tight end because there's so much depth there, even though we have 4 on the roster now. but we definitely will be using a lot of tight end, three tight end sets. We still have two fullbacks on the roster as well. So definitely a lot of big bodies that we need for this type of offense. We're going to go that power run scheme, so we definitely need a lot of big blockers, that type of thing. And then we attack the defense with Kyler Fackrell. Definitely a player that's had some good success in the league. Nothing earth shattering, but one season in Green Bay, he did have 10.5 sacks. And so he's kind of one of those guys that's kind of bounced around in positions, but has ties with the Giants. He played for Graham in the system, so he knows it. And Graham used him more as the outside linebacker, even though he's about 245 pounds. And I think you'll notice that about Graham's linebackers. He likes that a bigger linebacker. I know a lot of linebackers in the league now are going in that smaller range, the Divine Diablo size, but he still likes the bigger linebackers. So you'll see both of the guys, Fackrell and Kaiser, they're both about 245. But I think he'll be used more as a pass rusher, kind of like Nassib. Like if we got Nassib for a reason, like if we were in a 3-4, he would have been a stand-up outside linebacker, do some coverage stuff, be out there against the run, but also be able to rush the passer. And that's kind of the role that Fackrell would play. He's basically Nassib's replacement, as kind of how I look at it. Um, so that's kind of what his role will be in this defense. I mean, he can play in the inside. Teams have played him in the inside before, but he's found more success on the outside rushing the passer than he has as sort of that middle linebacker. But he can do it. I think Graham will use his skills to get to the quarterback. So I think this is a solid signing. We needed linebacker depth, and we'll take a look at our linebacker depth here in a minute. But we certainly needed it. And then Mika Kaiser, to me, he plays mostly inside linebacker. Um, that's kind of was going to be his role, but I guess backup Perryman, that kind of thing. He was with the Rams and with Denver. Never nothing really stand out crazy on his stats or anything like that. I think he's more to me like Markel Lee. He'll basically be taking his position, emergency or backup middle linebacker type guy, can give you some snaps, but also a key special teamer. I think that's sort of his role in the team. So the guys that we brought in are just kind of the guys that they probably have had their eye on, I'm sure, and guys have just sort of impressed them, but along the lines of the same guys that we just lost. So Kaiser, I equate him to sort of Markel Lee's role. Fackrell, I kind of equate him to Nassib's role. And then Hollister, I would equate him to Carrier's role as similar. And then obviously Brandon Parker or Luminar, we know what they do. They've been on our team now for a bit, so we're pretty familiar with them. But yeah, let's just in general take a look at the roster. Obviously, quarterbacks, we have two on the roster. So Carr, hopefully he gets his extension soon. I'm guessing the word is with Devontae Adams press conference, they're going to do the Carr extension then too. And then Garrett Gilbert, who is an ex-Patriot. So quarterback room, we got a Patriot in there. As far as the line goes, we got Brent Hagee, Andrew James is our centers. Obviously, James is our starting center. The guard room, we got Lester Cotton, Denzel Good, John Simpson, Leatherwood, all kind of on the guard. So maybe you look for Simpson and Leatherwood and Good all to kind of compete. I'm not sure if Lester Cotton makes the team or not. And then you have sort of those swing players that can do multiple positions, like Alec Bars. We just brought him in. I definitely think there's definitely a role on the team for him as a um, lesser expensive version of Denzel Good. Denzel Good's making 3.7 coming off of a serious knee injury and older. Alex Bars is sort of the peak of his career, making 1.7. So there, could have some cap savings there if anything else. Um, and then Garasu as well. So there's another guy. I don't think he'll make the team. Jordan Meredith. Don't He's looking on the outside right now, but I think he might actually have a shot. He kind of fits the Patriot mold of that sort of athletic, 300-pound, 6'3" type interior offensive lineman. If you go back through the Patriot history, that's basically the size of lineman they have. So I'm not going to rule him completely out yet. We'll see how the preseason and things like that go. And I'm sure we're going to draft somebody on the interior or get a UDFA guy as well. Tackles, Jackson Barton. Obviously, I don't expect much from him, but he is right now making about $1 million. So he's kind of with a vet minimum type deal, and he'd be in the top 51 as far as what we're paying people. So he's in that top 51 bracket. And Colton Miller, obviously, we know all about him. Brandon Parker, and William Sweet, which he wouldn't be in the top 51 pay, and I doubt he makes the team. But then Illuminor as well. So all those guys are looking strong. And then, of course, if we look at the group, the whole offensive line, Illuminor does have ties to the Patriots. So far, the quarterback room does, and the offensive line has somebody from the Patriots to help with the system. And then you look at the tight end group: Bowers, Morrow, Waller, and Hollister. I wouldn't be surprised if all of them made the team. We'll see what we do with the rest of free agency and in the draft. And then, of course, Hollister. He's with the Patriots as well in their practice squad. So I actually played with them too. So there you go. So yeah, three of the groups so far have an expatriate. If we look at the receiver room, Abrams, Edwards, Holland, Tyron Johnson, Hunter Renfro, Dylan Stoner, DJ Turner, Javon Wims. It's competitive in the wide receiver room. I definitely see us drafting a receiver. I also wouldn't rule out, because we don't have anybody in the group. Don't rule out Amendola for possibly getting a signing or at least a look or an invite in. I know we're bringing in Demarcus Robinson today from Kansas City, which is cool. That'll be an interesting signing if we end up picking off a Chiefs player. So we'll see how that goes, because we definitely need a number two receiver. I'm not confident with any of these guys as being a true like Z type receiver. I know we have Renfro in the slot, which is awesome, and Adams is our true number one X receiver. But we do, I think, need a two. I think Hollins and Edwards are just those big body receivers, red zone targets, that type of thing. But definitely could use some more playmaking ability on the outside. And then if we look at the running back room, we got Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden, who's an expatriate, Kenyon Drake, Josh Jacobs, and Trey Regis. And then the fullback room, Jacob Johnson and Sutton Smith. So we have another Patriot there. So all the position groups have an expatriate except for except for the wide receiver room, and so that's why go through the available free agents. I mean, I noticed Amendola. There may be others. We'll see about that. And then if you go over real quick to the room with the defense and cornerback, we got Averett, which is awesome. Hobbs, LeBlanc has some ties to Chicago, not necessarily anything affiliated with us. Trayvon Mullen, Darius Phillips, Amik, and Rock Sin. So that group doesn't have any real ties to us. So we'll see if anything changes with Gilmore. So if we bring in Gilmore, that would be fire. Would be great. The defensive ends, you got obviously Crosby, Farrell, Jerry Green. I'm not sure he makes the team. Chandler Jones, and then Malcolm Kuntz. Obviously Chandler Jones was a Patriot, so we have somebody in the room familiar with the system there. Played with Graham when Graham was there as well. So you have that connection. P.J. Johnson, Andre Billings, Bly Nichols, Kendall Vickers, all on the defensive line. None, to my knowledge, have anything to do with the Patriots or the Giants system. So we'll look for something to go there. I know Danny Shelton's a possibility, I believe, from the Giants. So I sort of had my eye on him, but we'll see if we do bring in anybody with those connections. Obviously, Nichols was our big signing and has connections with Chicago, with our scouting department, that type of thing, or Champ Kelly, but not really anything with Patrick Graham that I could tell. Um, but some of these other guys might have a chance. P.J. Johnson, he's a big dude, 334. He might have a chance to stick on the team. You never know there. And then Kendall Vickers, we know all about him, so we'll see if he ends up making the team. And I thought Bly Nichols was a bigger player, but I went to the Raider website and they only have him listed at 290. I've seen reports he's like 320, so I'm not really sure on that deal, but we'll see how that all plays out. But anyways, yeah. So the linebacker room, obviously we have Diablo, Kyler Fackrell, who played for the Giants, so there's that connection in the room there. Mika Kaiser, we just listed him. Uh, Justin Lillard, Denzel Perryman. So we're still pretty thin at linebacker. We don't have a lot of depth there. Really, we need more help at the linebacker position. So I wouldn't be surprised, Kyle Van Noy, that type of thing, something like that comes in. But we'll see how that all plays out. Um, I guess PJ Johnson might have some ties with Arizona college there with maybe one of our coaches, but I'm not really sure. The defensive line is interesting. We have Chandler Jones on the D line, but the D tackle group, we don't really have somebody in there that's kind of familiar with the system. It doesn't look like, so we'll see if that changes because it seems like all the other position groups, we have that connection. So we'll see how that goes. And then a safety group, we don't really have that true connection except for Natrell Jamerson, who played with Carolina. So there's some familiarity with there with our defensive backs coach, but not so much the Patriots or anything like that. So, but yeah, Abrams, Jordan Brown, Gillespie, Natrell Jamerson, Levitt, we know Mooring, and then Teamer still shows on the roster, but I'm not sure. Some things I see shows him as a free agent, and some show him as still on a roster. So I'm not really sure um, how that's all kind of playing out there. But so that group not really a connection except for the Carolina Jamerson. So we'll see if that changes too. I highlighted Landon Collins yesterday as somebody that's played with Patrick Graham, and so we'll see if there's any movement there with that room. I think our safety room. I think we could use a safety. Tyrann Mathieu, obviously the Honey Badger, would be fantastic. But we'll see how that goes. The cornerback room. We'll see if we get Gilmore. That would be awesome. And then we'll just keep building the D tackles because I definitely think we still need more D tackle help. I mean, Blyde Nichols is the only true one that I see making the team. The other guys, have a shot, but I don't know. We definitely need bigger bodies. We need more depth there. We need more playmakers for sure. We need to push the pocket in on these quarterbacks. So that's how I see the roster right now. We'll see what other moves we make today, and we'll go from there. Thanks for joining and listening. Please share your thoughts, opinions, who we should go out and sign. I know a lot of people want to get Calais Campbell out there. There's a lot of names that we all talk about. Would be fantastic to bring in here. So we'll just see how many more Patriots we end up with. I know I see some comments, enough Patriots already, but as you see, we're not done signing Patriot players yet. And I don't think anybody's going to complain, or hopefully not if we do sign Gilmore. But like I said, I think we got about 8 million. So if we bring in Gilmore, look for Trayvon to go. Maybe a few other. Meek still counts on the top 51, but he doesn't really move the needle much. It's pretty much the same as being not on the 51, making $1 million like he is. So it doesn't really matter either way if he stays or goes as far as the cap goes right now. But yeah, there's some other moves that can be made to free up some cap space, and then of course we still have Nassib and Littleton, and we still have Carr's extension. If that happens, that'll free up a ton of money as well. And there's some other guys that they can play around the contracts and give extensions and move some money. So we still have some flexibility there. And so, yeah, let's see how it goes. Please like, share, subscribe, share the video. And more importantly, comment. Want to hear what everybody has to say out there. Have a great day.